He'll have his gloves and all in there.
Doing all that in 2 minutes.
And normally you would have the
40 seconds.
suspenders. Like New York City or Chicago, and you had a fire on the top of a skyscraper or a high-rise, and you had to go up the stairs and all of this with this probably 40 or 50 pound SCBA pack on, and then they have to carry their hose up too. So they're carrying all that weight.
And the idea behind the Lucas is it's mechanical CPR, it's mechanical chest compressions. If somebody in this room were to suffer a cardiac arrest and collapse on the floor, and we needed to do CPR on that person, there are a lot of guys in here that are trained to do CPR, but as human beings, we can't give really good quality CPR for very long. You know, the most in shape, the most ripped medic, after a minute or two, his or her compressions are not going to be as deep as they need to be. The rate's not going to be accurate. We're not going to be given really good CPR. And when he or she has to take a break and hand it over to somebody else, that break in between me giving CPR and you giving CPR, that break is detrimental to the outcome of the patient. So ideal CPR is 101 compressions per minute, 2.1 to 2.4 inches of depth, and it needs to be continuous. I'm just going to kind of demonstrate the device for you real quick. This is going to be our dummy that's had a cardiac arrest, and when the Lucas arrives on the scene, I like to train the Lucas device as an ABC: activate, back plate, and compression. So activate the device. You can activate it either through the case or outside of the case, but it's as simple as turning the device on with the green button that I just pressed right there. See that green button? So I've activated the device. The back plate, pretty self-explanatory where that goes, but if you put it like that, that's fine too. But it's the back plate. So I'll ask whoever, when I arrive on the scene, hopefully I've got a volunteer giving manual CPR. So I'd ask that person to take a quick break, slide the back plate underneath, and then I take the device, click it on one side, click it on the other side, press the one button. Am I connected? Yeah. Press the one button, make contact with the patient's chest, lock it in place, and press start. Now you'll notice the first one or two compressions aren't quite as deep as they need to go. The device is finding the depth that it needs to go. And then once it gets there, it's going to do that as long as my battery will last. A hot battery is going to last about 45 minutes. There's my pause for my compressions. Ventilate, ventilate. Now it's going to resume. I'm going to pause it so I don't have to speak over it. Now, on the way to the hospital, if the patient rearrests, if the medic in the back of the ambulance realizes that the patient has arrested again, he or she typically has to unbelt their seatbelt, stand up in the back of the truck, and resume compressions. It's pretty unsafe to be standing up in the back of a vehicle that's flying across town. If that vehicle has an accident, and ambulances do have accidents, that medic in the back of the vehicle is in pretty bad spot. So the medic can reach over and resume compressions without taking his or her seatbelt off. If the patient's too large, there's not a weight limit here, because when you think about it, really large patients tend to carry their weight lower and not higher on their bodies. So the device is going to fit about 95% of the population. FedEx had an ad years ago that said, if it fits, it ships. Our mentality is, if it clicks, it fits. If you can get the device to click, regardless of how short or how far you have to pull the plunger down, you can push start and it will resume compressions. So it's going to fit about 95% of your population. Once you get the patient connected and the compression started, you can put the patient's wrists in these straps. Keeps the patient's arms from flopping out during transport and getting in the way, possibly getting injured. This version is driven by a lithium battery. It's got about a 45-minute life on it. You can actually swap a battery out if you're very quick and never lose rhythm. If you've got a really long transport, it's not uncommon for us to read about some places in really rural areas where you've got a transport and you've got to have compressions going longer than what your battery will allow. You can actually plug it into a 110 outlet and it'll run as long as you need it to run.